Hey guys, Jason here from Positive Real Estate and welcome along to the weekly update. Hey listen, I got a question all the time. What's better, positive cash flow or capital growth? And the answer is very, very simple. Neither. Both of them are good for certain things at certain times and they add value to a property investor's portfolio for different things. Quite often, I talk to people about, hey listen, you want to be financially free and you want to be create some wealth for the future? Well, capital growth will do that for you. But how do we go ahead and buy that capital growth and create that wealth in the future? And that comes from cash flow. Now, cash flow can be out of your own pocket. We prefer it not to be that way. Or it can be from the investments that we go ahead and buy, which is positive cash flow property. Now, there's positive cash flow pre-tax and positive cash flow after tax. There's a little bit of a delineation there, and you should understand that as you do your numbers. And then, usually, when we go to buy these good quality properties in good capital growth areas, they are usually, by definition, in locations that end up with the property being a negative cash flow property. And so how do we then keep going as a property investor, not running out of buying power, keeping going forward and buying those good capital growth properties? And so the answer is balancing up your portfolio. It's interesting when you have a look at statistics in Australia, and if you look at all of the property investors around Australia, there's about 6% or about 5%, 6% of the population in Australia who have one or more investment properties. Not their home, but one or more investment properties. And when you look at the stats and you can see the statistics go that, 2 or more investment properties, the stats of the whole country drops down to 2%. As a property investor, financial success will come around between 5 and 6 properties. Between 6 and 10 is a really good sweet spot. And less than 1% of the population of Australia own 6 or more properties. Less than 1% of the investors of Australia own 6 or more properties. So how do we get there? How do we run into these roadblocks and what is the challenge? And it's all about balancing up your portfolio and making sure that you have a balanced portfolio as you go ahead. Now, balancing your portfolio or building a good portfolio using cash flow and capital growth provides you serviceability as a borrower to continue to move forward so you can continue to buy more properties and borrow more money. And you need to get those serviceability or cash flows from your rent returns, from your tax deductions in the beginning, especially if you're a PAYG earner. You might do some buying and selling as a property trader as well. You might have other incomes coming in. And definitely you need to have the right finance solutions. Interest rate at 7% compared to an interest rate at 6% definitely helps your cash flow. And buying those positive cash flow properties that create excess cash flow that can go over and buy you a capital growth property. Now, buying a capital growth property, we're looking for places that have got market cycles that are ready. Places that haven't grown for a while and get some timing. I've talked about that in other videos. We're looking sometimes to add our own value. We might do something to the property. We might renovate it. We might strata it. We might subdivide it. We might put a granny flat in its backyard. You might add some value to that property yourself or the market just because of the location, a mining boom town, a place where new infrastructure and roads and bridges and certain things happen, shopping centres, the property value rises. Now the difference between 3% capital growth and 10% capital growth compounding over 10 years is a whopping $437,000. Now for us as property investors, we want to make sure that we go ahead and choose the right location so we can get that compounding growth, because that's where we're going to create some wealth. So let's just look at my little picture here. I love doing little pictures. This is a bit of a diagram of what we can achieve. Now if we go out there and find some good quality properties, some positive cash flow, after-tax properties, and let's say we go ahead and buy one. We're using some of the equity from our probably our owner-occupier or somewhere else where we can find that equity, and we go ahead and build a portfolio of positive cash flow properties that then go ahead and feed a capital growth property, a cap growth property that might be a negative cash flow. So these properties here go ahead and feed this one. Now, overall, you're going to see now that putting 3 positive cash flow properties together and a good capital growth property can then go ahead and have you excess cash flow which you can feed back into your owner-occupier home and pay your home loan off faster, and then use that equity to go ahead and buy more investment properties. Now the aim, guys, is not to buy 100 properties, it's to buy between 6 and 10 and then go ahead and pay all of your debt off. Okay, and we want to try and achieve that within sort of 10 to 15 years. Okay, and when you come along to our property investment night, we're going to show you some strategies, very simple, that anyone can use to go ahead and start creating this type of portfolio that is positive cash flow after tax, puts money in your pocket, saves you on your tax deductions, and over time gets you some capital growth so you can be financially secure and become wealthy. And so that's something that we want to share with you when you come along to our property investment night. They're in every capital city. We'd love to see you there. Hopefully today this little tip was interesting and motivating enough for you to get to come along. Until we catch up in person, take care and bye for now.